folks, we have another edition of the New York Times likes unions, just not unions they have to deal with directly. I did another video on this some months ago while the New York Times was haggling with their unions over how to keep the Boston Globe open because it's losing money, and the New York Times is losing money. It's junk bond status now because nobody wants to read their crap, and I don't blame them because it is crap. It's good for lining the bird cage, maybe lining the cat box, that's about it. Blowing your nose on it, although that is kind of rough. Before I read off the story, think of how the New York Times would deal with this if we substituted Walmart or ExxonMobil for the New York Times Company. The Boston Globe's largest union overwhelmingly approved a package of $10 million in wage and benefit cuts last night. This was a week ago, ending July 21st, if I remember right, the night of July 20th, ending more than 3 months of tense bargaining and brinksmanship. The Boston Newspaper Guild, which represents nearly 700 editorial, advertising, and business office workers, became the last of the Globe's major unions to ratify sizable financial and other concessions that the paper's owner, the evil New York Times Company, has said it needs to keep operating the 137-year-old paper. The Globe was projected to lose $85 million this year if significant cost reductions were not made, according to the Times Company. With a turnout of about 80%, Guild members voted 366 to 179 to approve the contract, which includes pay cuts for the working man. Those union guys, they're getting pay cuts, furloughs, and unpaid vacation that reduce earnings by about 9%. Deep reductions in health and retirement benefits. How can they do this? They're so unfeeling. Including a pension freeze and elimination of lifetime job guarantees for about 170 veteran employees. The Guild follows 6 other unions that recently ratified wage benefit and other concessions, totaling slightly more than $10 million. In April, the Times Company threatened to shutter the Globe unless it got a total of $20 million in union goon concessions. The ratification of the Guild contract comes more than a month after members narrowly rejected a similar package by just 12 votes. After that vote, the Times Company imposed a 23% pay cut on Guild members to achieve the demanded savings from the Guild. The union responded by filing unfair labor charges with the National Labor Relations Board. So how would the Times deal with this if Chrysler did this to the union workers, the UAW, excuse me? If they, how would they do that if they did that to Ron Gettelfinger, the head goon at the UAW? What would they do? So here's the Times. They're trying to keep their company going, and they cut a whole bunch. They cut retirement benefits, health benefits, pension freeze, no lifetime job guarantees. So in other words, if you've been there a long time, you can't slough off the last 10 years of your employment there. All kinds of concessions, $10 million worth just to keep it open. But this is the working man they're doing this to. They're hurting the working man, and you can't be doing this in these trying times. So if the Times were consistent, and I've read enough of their editorials blasting people who are negotiating with unions, if they were consistent, they'd be giving these people gold-plated pensions. They'd be upping the ante, higher wages, because these guys are feeding families, and they've got to have enough money to put their kids through college and pay the mortgage. But yet suddenly when the Times does it, it's okay. So I guess the Times, it's obvious. I mean, I don't need to tell you, but you know, the unions they directly deal with, well, they got to make concessions. But if it's other unions, like if it's Chrysler trying to eliminate, if they eliminate the jobs bank, there'd probably be hell to pay. They'd be editorializing over that for years. Another case of do as they say, not as they do.